Hey guys, what is up? My name is Ben. How are you guys doing today? What I have for you today in this video is I want to talk about toolkits that Microsoft has been working on for their upcoming release of Windows 10 for both the computers as well as mobile devices. The smartphones, tablets, you name it. And basically what Microsoft was trying to do is for many app developers out there who developed apps for however long they've been doing it now, for iOS and Android, basically trying to make it easier for them to port those apps over to the Windows market for Windows 10. So that way Microsoft can try to get more users into using the Windows 10 environment on both platforms, the computer platform and the mobile device platform. However, there's an issue with that. They don't have a huge market share for Windows Phone 8 or Windows 8, whatever they call it now for the mobile devices. Therefore, not too many developers are interested in this. There was this article that was talking about this topic, which the link will be in the description below, and basically they mentioned there were, I don't know, this might be a few, I don't know, they mentioned like 1 out of more than a dozen developers are actually interested in porting their apps over to Windows 10. And the problem they were stating, like I said before, there isn't a huge market share in there for Microsoft. So I guess it sounds like what these developers are trying to do is basically they're just trying to look to see how that particular platform is doing, to see whether they want to jump the gun or not. Because it sounds like they have to sign some sort of contracts. I don't know. I'm just thinking this after reading about the article, because I mean, it's a toolkit. I don't know how much they charge for it. I didn't look into much, but let's say if they didn't charge for it, there wouldn't be a reason for why you wouldn't port the apps over to Windows 10, right? Unless if there was a fee, and maybe Microsoft has to take a part of the credit, but more than likely the developer will get most of it, just like Apple. Every app that is sold in the App Store, from what I remembered from what Steve Jobs said, and I'm thinking this is still the same standard you're going with right now since Tim Cook is the CEO, back in 2011 up till now, was basically the developers take 70% of the revenue and Apple's cut is 30%. So Apple does get a little bit of credit out of developers' work, but that's because they are giving the SDKs for the developers to create these apps. Not to mention, these developers have to pay a developer fee at least once a year. I forgot what they called that. But that's basically a fee you have to pay yearly, so that way you can develop apps and then distribute them to the App Store for Apple. And I believe Google was free. Don't quote me on that, and I'm not 100% sure about Microsoft. But basically what these developers want is for the market share to grow a little bit more, so that they'll even consider it, because right now they're not going to even consider it. I mean, Windows phone devices really started taking off since a few months after the iPhone 4 was released. So that was back in 2010. So 2011 they were just starting to get going on that. At that time they called it Windows Phone 7, and then Windows Phone 8 come out. I don't even know if they changed it to Windows 8 or Windows 8.1 for the mobile devices, but for Windows 10, yeah. And the problem Microsoft has is they're rushing into things, and they're not, I feel like they're not paying close attention to the product that they're developing. For example, going from Windows 7 to Windows 8. A lot of people that I've talked to found Windows 8, horrifying. And I was trying to figure out why, because when I use Windows 8 and 8.1, it's not bad, and 8.1 just makes it better. Because they gave you back a start button, even though it pretty much acted the same as that hidden square in Windows 8, except the button shows up right there. But a lot of people just didn't like the tiles. And what Microsoft was trying to do with Windows 8 is trying to bring a mobile platform back into the computer platform, but at the same time not take away any certain tasks that a computer can do that mobile devices can. And kind of like what Apple did, taking features from iOS back to the Mac ever since OS X Lion. And apparently Microsoft, for these people, didn't do it the right way. Therefore, they're correcting that with Windows 10. That's kind of like the pattern they're going on here. Windows XP was fine. Windows Vista sucked because it was slower and it just had lots of problems. Windows 7 resolves that, and then Windows 8 is better than Windows 7, but apparently a lot of people don't like the tiles and they can't stand them. Someone I know hates Windows 8 within a heartbeat because of the tiles. And Windows 10, you still have the tiles, but they're utilized in a certain way where it's actually more playful, in my opinion, and more useful. Why? Because you have that full start screen menu. Believe it or not, that makes the tiles really more useful. And I'm curious to see how the actual release is going to be, the official release. And the free upgrade will be for a year for Windows 7 and Windows 8 and no, I apologize for that. It's a free upgrade for the first year for Windows 7 and Windows 8.1 users. I don't know about Windows 8. I think you would have to upgrade from 8 to 8.1 first, and then you can upgrade from 8.1 to 10. Not sure how that's going to work, especially since it's Microsoft. Then you have these product keys to deal with. I don't even want to go that far yet because I'm not 100% sure. So basically, right now Microsoft market is kind of hanging in there, but until they can figure out something to do to make their market share go up and not rush into things, I'm pretty sure that a lot of developers would actually consider porting their apps over to Windows 10, so that way they can have their apps available on across, I would say, the top 3 platforms out there for mobile devices, which would be iOS, Android, and Windows Phone, or Windows 10, whatever they're going to call it. And as far as BlackBerry is concerned and whatnot, they're getting there, and they could have a chance too. Yeah, everyone has a chance as long as you're working at it right and you make sure you got a good enough market share to have people actually consider building products for your devices. So what do you guys think about this? Do you guys think that Windows 10 for mobile devices will be a success? Will developers eventually even port apps over to Windows 10? As far as the computer platform is concerned with Windows 10, that's fine. I mean, nothing's really changing in that except the operating system, but you can still download applications from third-party sites. So that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Please subscribe, rate, comment. Also check the description below for my social media, Twitter and Instagram. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.